Saturday, the 24th of July, and it's the Tomcast again. Welcome back, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a long time since I've done some drawing for you, and I was feeling in a good mood today. I'm back from San Diego. I did a 5-day little trip out to see my mom and stepdad and the ocean. Oh, and my good friend, Audrey Isaacson, who was a former student of mine from Micah. So good to catch up over a cup of coffee at the Panickin with you. If you see this, it was so nice to talk to you, and that was inspirational. And it's good, a little bit of recommendation for everybody out there. It's good to get outside of your age peer group every once in a while. Talk to people who are older, talk to people who are younger. And that is how we figure out where we are on the timeline. I have to thank a lot of people for giving me their perspectives in this frothy time that we find ourselves in. I apologize. There might be some lawn care people outside. Hopefully, this sounds all right and you don't hear too much buzzing in the background. But what I thought would be fun today, I was inspired. I saw a really cool looking dude driving down the street wearing like an all gray bike skid protection outfit on a gray and orange bike on a bike, and I thought that looked dope. And it reminded me of some cool inspiration from the past, and one of those would be the Jurassic Park gray and orange Jeep. I mean, I think this is the coolest Jeep that ever was. In any Jeep media form, whatever, I think the Jurassic Park Jeep is just the bee's knees. And then I think about orange and gray motorcycles. And when I think about motorcycles, I think about Keanu Reeves. I think about Keanu Reeves because Keanu Reeves is so cool. He just is the embodiment of cyberpunk and future and inspiring people to be better and to be free and do cool stuff. And that is Keanu Reeves, all while being very humble. I like that. So the the orange, like the gray with a little bit of orange, has a unique kind of feel to it in terms of ego, because gray is not a high ego color. It's more fade into the background. The term the gray man is somebody who disappears into a crowd, who has the ability to be a hero but doesn't want to be showy about it. And the little bit of orange, what does that say to us emotionally? Caution, awareness, get ready for something. Orange is a very exciting color. It reminds us of fire. It reminds us of fruit like citrus. A lot of good things that are orange. Also, I suppose it can go the other way too. Like Agent Orange is a very bad thing. Also, like if your house is on fire and your house is orange, maybe that's not a good thing. So orange is this color that can mean so many different things in context. And a little bit of orange against the context of gray, I think to be very stimulating and interesting. So we're going to try to do something along those lines today. Also celebrating a 1 year anniversary of drawing this piece, this commission, which has a little bit of that orange and gray in it. So this is a future battle painting concept for Jason Ellis. I have to thank Nathan Heaslett for linking me up with Jason to do this commission, and I had a ball. I had a lot of fun doing this little commando scene, this battle scene with a big walk-in mecha thing, and I had just a ton of fun getting in here and doing all the little details of the weapon systems and the Gatling guns and the missiles and the cannons, and these little dudes running around with their different guns and trying to come up with an inspired, like, futuristic style gun based on a bunch of contemporary real world pieces of equipment, and just taking one third what exists, improving it a third, and then coming up with one third new. That is the Sid Meier mentality for iteration: one third old, one third improved, one third new. And I think that applies to a lot of different things. So let's get into it. This was fun. Already a few minutes in. Don't need to save that because I made some changes. Instagram's at Turbo Symonds. I am not good at posting there, but I should get better as I do more work. I would love to this winter get into a routine of drawing for you, good people, on the Saturdays or Sundays. Oh, it's JoJo. JoJo says watching Tom draw while sitting on the floor working on graphics. Yay! Everyone keep JoJo's kitty in their thoughts because Kitty Bear is having a hard time these days. Oh, by the way, JoJo, Josh's cat got into a fight with some kind of animal out in the woods. Apparently, medium-sized cat got left out and got into a tussle. Josh had to coax medium cat out from underneath a shed, and its right leg was all a little messed up. So that's the side story. Let's get into drawing. I have this vision in my head. I saw this guy riding an orange bike, and he was wearing all gray, and I thought it was cool. And I like Jeeps, so I'm thinking about a composition where there's one guy with a bike in the foreground. You want it straight? Dude, the man on a bike or the lady on a bike has so much emotional connotations. It's freedom, it's rebellious. There's the Mad Max, like wastelander ideal to that, and there's also the chopper rider. It's a real expressive but also risky form of transportation. And I think, or at least around here where I live, there's a lot of Jeep owners, and the Jeep owners take customization to a level that I don't think any other car owner does. I could be wrong. I would love to be corrected, but I mean, who else spends more money on their vehicles than Jeep owners, right? Suspensions, lift kits. Okay, there's trucks. There's trucks that get a lot of work done, but you don't see as many trucks that have like the roll cages. Like the Jeep accessory market, I think just blows. It just blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. It's a like the Jeep culture is like the Harley culture, or I don't know. So I'm thinking about some kind of stacked composition where we have a bike and a Jeep, and oh, also something cool about Jeeps is you can mount like a 50 cal on the roof. That's fun. So let's mount a 50 cal up there. Make it a little militant. I guess Jeeps have this military history. The original Jeep, the Willys, was this incredible vehicle. There were a couple famous generals who attributed victory of the Allies not to any weapon, but to the Jeep and to the truck. American logistics through just incredible production of vehicles to get supplies all over the Western Front and then around the islands once they landed. The Jeep was a truly unique and revolutionary vehicle in that conflict. So, okay, I have my loose brainstorming sketch for stage one for what we're going to do. And it's a little overlapped. Let's separate some stuff out and do some brainstorming from here. So now I'm going to select my little bike guy, hit Control X and Control V, and now I can move around my bike guy, and I could even turn him off. And let's finish this Jeep drawing here. So we know we need wheels. We need 4 wheels, 2 visible and 2 partially obscured. Maybe something like that. Maybe it's like open top. Is it a single door or double door? Maybe it's commander door. Maybe it's like a mini half door. This is our own invention, so we can do whatever we want. How about like we do like a tiny rear door? Might be fun. E for eraser, B for brush. We're just having fun, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me how you guys are doing today. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I thought it'd be fun just to spend an hour trying to brainstorm something fun. So it feels like the back end's a little longer than the front end here, so we can quickly select back end and maybe just shrink it, hold shift on the transform tool and bring it in. Let's move the whole thing over like that. All right, what does it feel like? Let's flip the canvas just to take a different look at it. And it's looking a little stubby in the front. Let's try redrawing this Jeep. Let's try redrawing it because we got the brainstorm, the idea of it, but it doesn't feel quite right. So I'm going to dim this way, 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 way down. And let's do another layer. Get our brush and try this again. We're just going to block it out. Just mass conception out. Very, very simple. Halfway here. Let's just try this again. Sometimes you just got to do it twice to get it right. A friend of mine who draws cars really well is Isaac Orloff. Check him out. Isaac Orloff just released a new TV show. Did some concepts for DreamWorks, I think, on a TV show. I've been seeing a lot of cool posts. I'm gonna do something fun. I was at a car show. It was a Carlisle car show a couple weeks ago. My buddy Steve, and I really like the front end of the Chrysler GTX or GTO. Trying to, it had this really cool like front grill thing that looked like this, and it had like light, but it was chromed in maybe like this kind. It was really. Let me look it up. Chrysler. It was like going to a museum. The Carlisle Car Show was like going to a car museum, and I loved that aspect of it. I'm not into buying and selling stuff, but I never knew about this kind of car. But I can't open this image. Why can't I open this image? Why can't I open like a Plymouth Roadrunner? 1972. Let's try this. Yeah, this front end is this Plymouth Roadrunner. This is a beautiful car. I love that grill. That is so cool to me. So most of the show I didn't really dig too much. There was some interesting stuff going on. The size of the cars was kind of fascinating, but this front grill I thought was just so stinking cool. So cool. So it's important as an artist to keep collecting inspiration everywhere you go. Take yourself out of your comfort zone. Go to a show if you got invited to a show. You might see something that'll inspire you to make something new. L says love is in the house. Thanks, L. So happy to have you check in on the Tomcast. Joe says it's hot here. It tells Chrysler to GTFO. I thought that front end's pretty cool though, Jojo. I think that front end was pretty cool. So I'm gonna take some inspiration and put a GTO grill on my Jeep and make all the car people mad. And then I think that would be cool to have like a big skid plate up front. So it's not a true Jeep anymore. Now it's just some kind of off-road futuristic vehicle. So maybe get some lights. Maybe it's like a medical. I don't know. Medical? Nah, can't have a medical and a 50 cal. Maybe it'd be fun to hang some kit off the side. When I was in San Diego, you see all those Jeeps and trucks that the Coast Guard and lifeguard people have, and they have all this equipment hanging on the rack, and I just think that looks so cool. I'm somebody who loves gear. I joined a climbing gym not for the workout, but for the harnesses. I'm not trying to be kinky. I think the actual gear is cool. Ah. Oh, Joe says that was a joke. The Chrysler GTFO. Ah, I'm dumb. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joe. I thought you were saying you didn't like Chryslers, which I wouldn't blame you for. I wouldn't blame you for. What are we doing with this front end here? Gotta get like a little hood scoop thing. Maybe it's got a little supercharger in there. Teeny tiny supercharger. Tiny supercharger. A little Baja inspiration from this like skid plate. Going down to the Baja with Jesse the Body Ventura. I was governor of Minnesota. Back in my time in the Navy SEALs. You don't even know about Minnesota. Come visit me in the Baja. Love Jesse the Body Ventura. He's crazy. I don't know, some springs in there maybe? I got so many other things to work on, but I'm procrastinating by doing this, but I wanted to have some fun. I haven't done one of these in a long time, and I thought it'd be a good day. Good day to do a little bit of this. Share some excitement, some inspiration. Rearview mirrors are such a funny thing. It's funny when I look at fighter pilots in jets and they have rearview mirrors in their cockpits. Like you got a $135 million jet, there's still a rearview mirror somewhere. Joe says, I guess GTFO is correct in both senses. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Letter B likes my drawing. George William likes my drawing. Luke likes the streaming. I can't even talk. When I think about Luke Quenco, I just get a little excited and my mouth starts to numb up a little bit. Such a beautiful man. We had a good time. We had a good time at the fire pit with Mr. Josh last night. Hearing the tree frogs in the woods. Getting rid of some old mildewy wood that needed to be burned up. It was gross. All right, how do I feel about this? Let's flip it back, because I think the proportions are still going to be a little off on this guy here, but it's way better than the first pass. So this is why iteration is important. First pass, pretty janky. Second pass, a little bit better. Third pass would probably make it perfect, but we don't have time. So let's just flip it over and correct from this perspective. So I want to make it seem like we had a little bit of perspective going away from us here. So I'm going to do some moving around of this grill in the front. Let's just pull this over here a little bit. Bring it up, out, bring this side in just a little bit too. I am so sorry about the weed whacker sounds if you all are hearing that. Maybe I'm a little bit inspired by the new Bronco. It is entirely possible I'm thinking about the new Ford Bronco, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit. And do I want I kind of want round lights. So to get that perspective, we have to make objects that we want to appear in the distance to be a little bit smaller. Joe says she can't hear the landscaping on her device. Wonderful. Says that the Jeep looks like it would have a meep meep horn. Meep meep, I'm a Jeep. I'm a Jeep, I'm a Jeep, I'm a Jeep. What kind of pillar does this thing have? Little tiny door there. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. I got to think about that. Got to think about it. Off-road vehicle. Seat 1. Seat 2. Wheel. And then pintle thing. And futuristic machine gun system. If I had a choice of crew served weapon on my Jeep, I might go with a GAU 9. I think that is a tri-barreled 50 cal, kind of like the Halo Warthog gun. Because why not? This is my fantasy here. I don't have to pay for this ammunition. It's just appearing. And we got to have the giant EOTech looking, maybe it's Trigicon who makes the big back sight system. There we go. It's pretty dope. And we got to have our ammo belt, which comes down. There's some kind of big harness thing. Some locking system. Boom. Okay, cool. We got our Jeep thing. Rear diff. So sometimes I just start with drawing, and sometimes I go with colors and shape first. So let's fill this in and see how it feels as a full shape. So I'll come underneath of it, and I'm going to come in with a warm gray. And let's see just how it feels once I mask this in. So we can see it a little bit more clearly against the background if we change our colors a little bit. Eliezer Martina is one of the greatest men on the planet. You better still be watching, fool. It's a little tight. Let's try sizing this out a little bit. I'm going to combine inside the background. Let's select all this. Let's increase our canvas size. I might be getting constrained. Let's go to 10-inch wide. There we go. You just have a little space. Just needed a little space on both sides, right? Let's hide both of those. Let's paste it. So we copied the drawing and the colors behind, and we're just going to play with this shape a little bit. So I'm going to go edit. Let's go edit transform warp tool and just play around with the shape. Maybe give it a little bit more perspective. We could change the angle. It's just like it's like taking a piece of putty and just playing with it and seeing if you get something better or more interesting. Let's make it a little bit rounder, give it a little bit of distant perspective within the object. Ooh, I kind of like how it's like climbing at the top. Like this bubbliness actually makes it feel a little bit more 3D, right? Cool. That feels pretty okay. That's interesting. Let's see, before, after, right? A little bit before, after. It's just a little more caricature to it. What is that, a warthog? Oh, nice, Joe. Little warthog emoji. Very cool. All right, so we got the plan for this. Let's go back to the biker man. Ooh, biker man, where are you gonna run to? Where are you gonna run to, biker man? Where are you gonna run to? Let's fill in some more of that background there. I'm hoping Breadman finds this. Maybe not live, but Breadman, I'm thinking of you. I hope you're out there. I know you missed the live streams. Hope you get to check this out later. What do I want to do? I kind of want to show off more of the bike. Let's try this. Let's do the same process. I'm going to lighten this down and draw it again and hopefully draw it better. So we want to establish the person, because in a way it's kind of a portrait, like drawing a person on a motorcycle that they've customized and chosen. Just like Akira, when you see Kaneda on his super motorcycle, like it's a portrait. That motorcycle is a representation of Kaneda's ego. So the choices that your characters make with their clothing, their props, their vehicles shows a lot about what they're thinking, about how their mind works. And then do I want the character addressing the camera, or do I want it addressing something else? This doesn't quite feel right already. But the idea of having a leg up and then a leg down kind of gives the idea of like the bikes maybe sloped a little bit. All right, let's try this again. So dim the background down a little bit more because I'm getting distracted by the background. Let's get some energy in this. Just put a little excitement to it. Something's happening here now. Something's very exciting about this now. Triangular composition. Spinal cord. I said, Rock, what's the matter with you, Rock? Can't you see I need you, Rock? Sci-fi bike, man. Okay, I'm feeling this. This is feeling good now. This is feeling very exciting. Something that's cool about motorcycle people is they got unlimited license to wear crazy boots. You could have all the latches and attachments and accessories and doodads and whatnots. And somebody who doesn't know anything about motorcycles isn't going to judge you. Maybe people within the bike world are going to be like, yo, that's corny, dog. You don't need all that. But I'm outside of the bike world. I don't know what's cool, what isn't cool. I just like Star Wars. And in Star Wars, having a cool pair of boots is pretty essential, man. Right? Am I wrong? Creativity is a chaotic process. It's naturally chaos, man. Trying to create this primordial ooze of energy and minerals and nutrients and hoping to build life from that thing. That's what you're trying to do. With the hopes that you inspire somebody else or that you just showcase the human potential of creativity. I was thinking about the Olympics. Why are the Olympics important? Because they don't feel very important to me this year. With all the risk of everything going on with the pandemic and there's no fans or audience, like what is still the point of it? Why do people like sports so much? When I was in San Diego, my mom and my stepfather love watching any kind of sport. Tour de France, golf, basketball, anything. They love it. Why is that? And my mom also likes looking at babies, which is weird but interesting. She'll go up to anybody on the street who's walking a baby and say, "Oh, can I see your baby?" And doesn't want to hold it. She just wants to see the little baby's face. She wants to see the little baby face. And I was thinking about why is that? And I think it might be because we want to believe that there is more potential in humanity, and we can live vicariously through the people we see to celebrate the potential of this crazy thing called life that we have on this planet. So when we watch the Olympics, you watch Simone Biles do 3 backflips from standing. You're like, that's amazing that human beings are capable of such feats, and it's a celebration of those feats. Joe says the more you have on your boots, the longer it takes for pavement to get to your leg when you crash. I agree. I think that's a wise observation. Let's get some hands. You also can wear cool gloves. You get licensed to wear like dope armored gloves. See, this guy's got some style. He looks like a midget though. He looks like a tiny jockey-like person on this beefcake bike. So I might need to shrink it down to make it proportional. But I also just want to go nuts with it, you know? What kind of engine? I don't know much about bike engines. I know they usually have a rod coming down and then a V. And then there's pegs down here. There's like a shifter. I think the clutch is up here, right? Or the gears. My bike people out there, you shift gears here, but there's also a pedal. Like it's a little confusing, like where you can keep your feet. I guess there's like a roll bar, isn't there? Like if you have to put the bike down, there's some kind of bar system that protects the gears and pedals and knobs and doils and doohickeys and whatnots. And then there's some kind of vent some kind of radiator type business to get the heat out. And you got your gas tank, fork suspension. I don't know, man. Let's flip this and see if it makes sense. Flip horizontal. Said, well, what's the matter with you, bro? Something like that. It's got some kind of box. Actually, I don't want a box up there because this is going to be in front of the Jeep, so I don't want it to be too busy. I imagine being on a bike is like so thrilling because of the acceleration. Like the acceleration must be so intense. I cried power, power. Drawing a dude. Something like that. Does that feel good? Let's do that same transform business, huh? Should probably need some fender on top of this front wheel, right? Get the splash off. Yeah, looks good. All right, so let's move that. Let's get select all of this. And let's do our transform warp. Just to see if we can come up with something a little bit more interesting. And the great, beautiful thing about Photoshop is you could always undo this. Like you could make some changes. Ooh, see, this is kind of hard to actually see with all the blinking lights. I don't like it. I wonder if I don't want as much lean. Let's bring that front end in just a little bit. What do we think? The bike looks good. His leg's a little funny. For the record, I'm not in love with this drawing, but it's serving a purpose. Joe says, bar is for feet to rest, speed control, all on handlebars, if I remember from my limited lessons. That's what I'm going off to. I had one lesson for my friend Crystal. Thank you, Crystal, for my lesson, for the one lesson you gave me 10 years ago on a motorcycle. And I think I remember my left foot doing something with the gears. And my right, which one's the clutch on a bike? Left or right? I forget. Well, I want to get to the color, and I got other stuff to do, so I'm going to be wrapping this up. So what we're going to quickly do is make sure the edges of this are all contained. Clean up. It's really hard to, I might make the background white just so I can see the marks here. All right, let's get the hard round eraser out. Clean up the outside of this character and do a really fast color pass using the method that Sir Neville Page uses. High energy, ladies and gentlemen. So the objective is just to get a good outline. So we can fill it in. We can always paint over more later. Tighten up the outside. If I had more time, I would spend more time. But I don't got more time. Just trying to give you all a little inspiration out there. If you want to draw something maybe better for yourself today, be creative, do something cool. There's a little computer thing and some gauges up here. Handlebars. Joe, who sings that song? It's like, I can ride my bike with no handlebars, no handlebars, no handlebars. You know what I'm talking about? Is that the cigarette smokers? Something like that? All right. I should be able to select the outside of this. Yeah, it's pretty good. Inset, and let's fill it with a warm gray. And then we can paint in some of our oranges here. And let's brainstorm some areas for orange for our character. Let's change the background to a blue because it'll contrast. Oopsies. Let's go light blue, gray blue. Cool. We'll find an orange we're excited about. I forgot to turn on transparency lock. That's okay. I'm gonna go in here and delete some areas anyway. Something that's kind of fun, just a little bit. For the wheels, we'll go a little bit on the purple gray side. Transparency lock, so I can just fill this in really quick. Light blue for the steel bars and stuff. Pegs and things. Engines. Engine bits. Cool. We'll go a little lighter in that warm orange. Purple visor for JoJo. Joe likes purple. No blue in the shadow. And darken the lower just a little bit. A little dark blue. Just to ground it. Boom, we got a little dude. There's a little bit more highlights. Let's merge the line and color. And then we can paint over everything up top. Cool. All right, we got that mostly brainstormed out. Not too shabby, I think. Oh, we got to put the little yellow blinker lights on. So you have a turn signal here, some kind of thing there, some kind of thing there. There's probably like a red thing back there. I don't know. Something like that. It's pretty cool. All right, let's get that guy's good. Call it the bike. And then we got to bring our Jeep in here. So that's, where did we leave our Jeep off? So we want this bike maybe here-ish. Forgot to put a dude in the Jeep. I don't know if we have enough time for it. So these two characters aren't really like living in the same space right now. So I'll have to work with this. I'm going to copy this bike to a new layer, save the old guy, and let's shrink. Maybe let's warp him down to make it feel like they live in the same perspective universe here. So we'll have to go a little bit smaller on everything. I don't like that. Let's try just shrinking. And that leg too long. You can hold control on one of the sides and give it this like trapezoidal flex. Now I'm just moving it around to look at this thing. Let's flip it. I'm not really loving what happened here. Edit transform, flip horizontal. All right, that's actually a little better. Feels a little better. Going the same way. Let's shrink that leg up. Cool. That feels good. Okay, let's paint the Jeep. Joe says, "Woo, purple." JoJo loves purple. What am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, let's go back to. I'm gonna use our bike as our color sampler. And here I'm just drawing and painting at the same time. I'm not. I want. If the wheels are too big, it makes the vehicle look small. There's an interesting proportional thing that happens between the relationship of the wheels and the body. And Jesse the Body Ventura from Baja. All right, so we were inspired by their Jurassic Park Jeep. Where do I generally want to make some oranges? I think it'd be cool to have like an orange stripe that kind of came up and across, maybe. That'd be fun. Actually, scoops are usually some kind of dark color because you don't want them to be too shiny because they reflect and blind the driver. This is slop-tastic. I find I squint when I draw when I don't like exactly what I'm doing. That seems cool. That seems good. Good, good. Form follows function. And if you don't know what's going on there, you just leave it dark. Just leave it dark. Let's get some shadow blue. Just ground it a little bit. Darkening and grounding the bottom. Something like that. Just brainstorming, ladies and gentlemen. Just trying to be creative, just having fun. Let's get a hint of some like valves that are opening and closing in there. Let's make a little green like ammo can back here. That might be cool. What is this? I don't know. Some piece of kit. Radiation detector. I don't know. Something like that. We're having fun. We're having a good time. Just drawing today. Let's draw another layer in here with some shadows. Maybe we'll go like a dirt. Let's paint the background up a little bit, huh? Like a red earth might be fun. A little energy, fun. Let's try flipping it. Just playing around with the size and shape. Playing around with the levels. So right now we have the situation where the levels and the colors and contrast are a little bit different between the two. So how do I homogenize these? Let's have a little bit of overlap. Just maybe like that might be cool. Should we have another figure in here? What time do we got? 3:18. So we're about almost close to an hour. Got no viewers right now, but that's okay. I know you're gonna check it out later. Draw one more guy, maybe one more character in this area. Someone leaning up against a door, maybe. Some boots. It's gonna be like a cowboy kind of character here. Desperado. Looking like some McCree looking fool. Trying to draw a character in 7 minutes is a challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Challenge. So we're just gonna take some tropes like Crocodile Dundee. Just pick a trope. Some blue jeans. Some boots. See some characters out in San Diego. If you spend some time by the water in any Southern California community, you will see some characters. Guaranteed. Maybe that's why Hollywood like never runs out of things to work on, because they keep seeing these crazy human beings. The crazies come to California. And the rest of the world is like, man, you Californians, are you generating the crazy people or are you attracting the crazy people? There's a little cowboy dude. Yeah, I don't want to make a ham, man. Got some fingers. Got some fingers. I always get confused drawing the arms folded. I always get confused by that. Maybe not the fingers there. Maybe it's just bicep. There we go. There we go. No fingers. No hands. 5-minute character. Something like that, as we say here in the Tomcast. Something I still didn't do is put shadows underneath these vehicles yet. So we're going to do that and try to wrap this up within a few minutes. Something like that, man. All right, back to the background. Let's come in with some shadows. Probably top-down sun. Let's go to blue, multiply, dark blue, under here, under the truck. Grounds the truck in the environment. Guy against the truck. And then go 20% or 30% and just get the area around just a little bit. And then let's hit it with a screen. Yeah, we want screen, kind of a golden light. Let's go 10%. It's not too terrible. Not too terrible. I don't feel like there's a lot of depth in here because the colors are all kind of skewy and the contrast is all kind of skewy. Let's blur the background a lot because I think the sharpness of these brush marks is messing with us. Let's go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Yeah, there we go. Less distracting now. Less distracting background. We can do some levels adjustment with the background too. Like if it's lighter, it actually gets a little bit more distracting. Darkening is too saturated. It's not bad. Let's knock the saturation down just a little bit. Brightening that character up just a little bit. Cool, so now we have a basis for like an idea. Like we have a little bit of a narrative happening here. We have these two characters meeting somewhere in the desert. It's very easy now to imagine a story of uh, these two folks now having an interaction. Like you have a location, maybe you have a conflict. Dude's looking like Daft Punk right now, isn't he? A little bit, maybe like Mandalorian. Doo 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 doo. Do 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Do, do, do. Some Tron Legacy for you. So let's try to bring some of the colors from the environment into the characters. So now we got all this going on. Let's control everything. Control C, Control V. So we just have its own layer of everything, and we could just paint over everything at once. So we're not jumping between layers. It just saves us a little bit of time and makes it a little bit easier to integrate everything together. Feel like it's all part of one thing, right? So I think this will be a fun continual project to do when I have some time. Muscly dude. Little support structure looking things always make it look more strong, more sturdy. What's going on? Oh, this was supposed to be a highlight. Now it looks like it's hollow. So we're going to maybe darken that. Yeah, that works better. More convincing. So we want to make our scenes believable. Space, negative space, all very important. Not everything needs to make sense because in the real world it takes a few looks to make something make sense. So you can just get most of the way there and your viewers are going to go along for the ride. So in the real world, colors bounce around too. So you want to have that same, you want to have that feeling of colors repeating themselves and bouncing around the scene. So if you use a color in one spot, really try to use that same color in another spot. And then it makes it look like everything's living in the same world. Right? The rider in white. You got to think about exactly. It would help us with our lighting and our believability if we made a decision about where exactly the sun's coming from. So imagine the sun's like directly above. Let's let's say like right here. So we're just gonna anything that's in the front is just gonna get a ton of freaking light. And sometimes just making one decision like that will help educate everything else. And it might not be the best decision, but it gets you going, gets you iterating and working. So I went a little too hard with the shadow, I think, down there. Just gotta soften that out. The stones and stuff. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's some of your weekly brainstorming from the Tomcast. This has been Tom Symonds. Thank you so much for tuning in, hanging out. Hope you enjoyed this little like brainstorming drawing based on some inspiration. And thank you to all of the artists who inspire me, everybody from the professionals like Ron Cobb, rest in peace, Sid Mead, Craig Mullins, and then some of my contemporaries like Sang Han, Pierre McGowan, Bryce. Good Lord, Bryce, what's your last name? Homick, Zombat, look him up. Got a lot of really talented artists out there. Isaac Orloff. Is it Andrew Murray? Sean Andrew Murray? A lot of talent out there, ladies and gentlemen. It's a very competitive world. Keep working, keep spinning. I think about a long time ago in every village, without mass communication, there was enough celebrity to go around for a community where everyone felt special and important. Think about like Fiddler on the Roof, like a little town where everybody had their role and everyone was known and celebrated. And we live in a world now, a global internet world, where celebrity is spread across the entire planet. And I think there's less room for like the local celebrities. I would like to see the future where we bring back and celebrate local talent along with the global talent. Is there a balance? I think there is, especially after being locked up in a house for a year and a half. I want to go out. I want to see people. I want to see live bands. I want to see live art. I want to go to galleries. I want to go to openings and get involved. Get up and get involved. So this was a lot of fun. Hopefully, I'll keep working on this. I'll post updates as they go. Thanks for tuning in and have a great, great weekend. Take care.